everyone, this is Hector. With spring fast approaching around the corner, thought it would be a good idea to get the service done. A few basic general maintenance issues we need to sort out, one of which are going to be the valve clearances. A young lad asked me the other day, what do you do, how do you do it? It's nice to see younger lads still interested in classic minis and classic cars. So today we're going to be doing the valve clearances, and I'm going to show you step by step what to do. This is an A series engine 1275. Let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do is to access the valves. We need to remove the valve cover. It's usually bolts. We've got some T-nuts on here, so we're just going to undo those. It's always good practice to replace the rocker cover gasket when you do this. And it should really be done every sort of 12 months. It's been a little while, to be honest, since I done this, so it's about overdue. Now, to be able to do this, we need to be able to turn the engine over. So there are a few ways you can do this. The first way is you can rotate the fan blade. This will rotate the engine. You can rock the car in gear, or you can jack up one side and turn the wheel. Problem is, when turning the fan blade, you can sometimes quite easily break off one of the blades, damage the fan. One way to help you to do this is to remove the spark plugs. This will eliminate the compression, make it much easier to turn the engine over. So we'll go on and remove the spark plugs. So now we've got the plugs out, we can turn the engine over easily. We're going to be adjusting the valves using what's called the rule of 9. So what the rule of 9 is a Mini has 8 valves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We rotate the engine clockwise from the radiator end until the valve is fully compressed, right before it's about to come back up. It's about there. And then what we do is we take whichever valve was compressed, which is valve number 8, plus whatever number it takes to make up 9. So 8 would be 9, would be valve number 1. Also cylinder valve number 6 is also compressed, so 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll be adjusting number 1 and number 3. So just gonna crack off the lock nut there. And then we turn the screw here. Now if we turn it clockwise, it tightens the clearance, and if we loosen it, it loosens it. Okay, so we need to set this one to, put that there, to 12 thou. For that we need a set of feeder gauges. You just slide that under there, and there should be just a little bit of resistance. So about there, and then tighten the lock nut. Back up, and then just take your feeder gauge again and just run it underneath. And like I said, just a little bit of resistance. You don't want to go too tight. And then we continue doing this using the rule of 9. Obviously we're going to do 3 now, and then you rotate the engine again till the next set of valves are compressed, and then you count, adding up to 9 as you go along until all the valves are set. Once that's done, it's a good idea to just go around again just to double check all the valves. Just rotating the engine, just stick your feeder gauges under there and just check and make sure that they're all set correctly. So I've just finished doing all the valve clearances, all set at 12 thou. Just going to run through now, turn the engine over clockwise again. I'm just going to run the feeder gauges under each valve just to make sure that everything is still set as was. Sometimes when you tighten up the lock nut, it can sort of slacken them off a little bit or tighten them again. So we'll just run around and do that. So now the valve clearances are done. This is going in for a fine tune. So what I'm now going to do is, can't really see very clearly, is I'm going to get the piston to top dead center and just mark the bottom pulley. So the best way to do that is we can use a clean screwdriver, pop it into cylinder 1, and then if we turn the engine like this, you'll see the screwdriver will start to come up, and what we're looking for is for the screwdriver to come all the way up until it stops, and right before it's about to go back down, which is about, I would say, there. Let's have a look. Now there are factory marks and I don't know how well this is timed, but if we just zoom in down there, you can see the original mark on the pulley. There's a little groove and he's just about in line with the first ridge at the top there. So we know that he's marked at top dead center, so I'll probably mark a bit of paint on there as well, just to make it easier for the guys when they get on there with a timing light, if that's what they choose to do. So now we've marked him at top dead center. We've adjusted all the valve clearances to 12 thou. Usually now you could run him up, but since we're doing a few other little bits, we're going to change the rotor arm, the plug leads, and obviously the spark plugs, which we've removed. So we'll crack on and we'll do that. The distributor cap's actually already been taken off, which is over here, which isn't in the finest state, but I've certainly seen worse. The rotor arm, the distributor cap is just 2 screws, one here on the dizzy, and there's one exactly 180 degrees below. I was concerned for quite some time that this was running at 180 degrees out. The good news is that before I took off the distributor cap, I noticed which plug lead from number 1, cylinder number 1, closest to the radiator, was positioned top right about 1 o'clock. And as you can see on the distributor on the rotor arm, he's about to fire at 1, which means he's not 180 degrees out. If he would be about to fire on 4. So the rotor arm would be exactly 180 degrees in the other direction. So we know that he's timed all right there. So the rotor arm simply just pulls off. That's easy enough. And we've got another one, which we'll go and get now. And you'll see on there. Again, it's not too bad, but I've certainly seen worse. And here's the new shiny rotor arm, and that quite simply, it'll only go on one way. You just pop him over and push him on, and then you've got new leads, 8mm insulated leads and plugs, and we'll go on and pop those in. So we've now put the rocker cover back on, new plug leads, distributor cap, and all new plugs. Unfortunately, whilst I was tinkering around down there putting the distributor cap back on, I'd knocked the distributor. It turns out the distributor was loose. It's held in place with this little locking plate here with a bolt which sort of pulls the distributor in tight. So we've knocked that. So I've put it roughly where I think it needs to be. But we're at the point now where we're going to be turning it over and trying to start it. And I'll be honest, I'm not overly hopeful, because usually when you move a distributor the slightest little bit, it just creates a problem. So okay, what you won't know is that for some time now, this has been, it probably sounds terrible on the camera, it was quite tappy before, which is where the clearances, the valve clearances were literally tiniest little measurement, being off. You know, it's measured in a thousandth of an inch, so you can imagine. I mean, you can only see on the feeder gauges how narrow they are. You know, it really is like nothing, like a sheet of paper. It's definitely quieter, so that's good. So we're just going to give him a rev and just see, because we moved the distributor, he started alright, but sometimes it's not until it's under load that... There we are, so we're backfiring a little bit. locking up very well either. This seems to be a bit slow with the engines. So we've definitely got a bit of a timing issue, so we're going to have a little look at that. I mean, it's going in for that on Saturday anyway, but we'll have a little tinker with it anyway. That just needs a few extra bits, like putting the grill back in. For a follow-up video on Saturday, or maybe this afternoon, I've asked Harry at JPR if he can get me in if he's had any cancellations. So I'll do a follow-up video of the rolling road test. We'll see how many horses she got. To be honest, I think I'd be lucky to see 45, or certainly before I touched it. So yeah, we'll see how he does on the rolling road. Thanks for watching, guys.